Good afternoon, YouTube. I'm going to be answering a question today. Received it by way of Instagram. Posted a picture of some of my backyard pest control, and the question came up: does the DonnyFL Sumo Moderator make a difference on my FX crown? Does the DonnyFL Sumo Moderator make a difference on my FX crown? So I'm going to answer that question for you today, and to do so we're going to use a decibel meter. This is the TAC Life MLM02 sound level meter. I've got it set on the fast A dB setting, and we're going to be measuring maximum noise. So what we did was we fired 3 shots with no moderator and no shroud extended, 3 shots with the shroud extended but no moderator, and then 3 shots with the shroud retracted and the moderator on. Again, the moderator we're using is the DonnyFL Sumo. I've had a lot of luck with this on my rifle. In fact, there have been times where I've been able to take shots on 2 different animals, and I've never been able to do that before without this moderator. And I think you'll see the numbers show it's a worthwhile addition to your FX crown. Just to note, the FX crown shroud requires an adapter in order to connect it to an external moderator. DonnyFL does a really nice job making those. And I'll show you a picture of what that looks like in just a minute. So I'm not a scientist or an audiologist or anyone who has any sort of advanced training in the use of or explanation of sound measuring equipment. I do know that small numerical changes in the decibel scale lead to big actual changes in the amount of noise. So when you see a number like 90 versus 95, it's easy to say, well, they're really not that far apart. But actually, the difference between 90 and 95 is really quite big. In order to provide consistent measurements across the 3 different ways that we use the gun today, we took the decibel meter, put it on a tripod, and mounted it right in front of the muzzle. And then we recorded what was on screen with the decibel meter. What we were trying to record was how much noise was generated right at the muzzle, which of course is going to be different from what, say, a squirrel hears 30 or 40 yards downrange. But by keeping it consistent, we felt we could give you the best comparison between the 3 ways the gun was fired. So let's get on to the shooting. I mentioned that the FX crown isn't set up to take a moderator straight away. In fact, if you were to look at the end of a FX crown, this is what is on the end of the gun. It is a screw-on cap. You can see on the back side a whole bunch of lead pellet buildup. I've shot this crown, I don't know, I probably have conservatively 10,000 pellets through it. I shoot it a lot. It's one of my primary Airguns. I love it. It's very accurate. And for a long time I was very satisfied with how quiet it was, and then I got a wild hair to see if I could do something different. So I called DonnyFL. I said, send me one of those adapters, which he did. So when you get the adapter, the standard screw in, try to get that, there you go. has those little holes, and it's in pretty tight. So you're going to have to stick a needle nose pliers, or if you have a fancy wrench to get those in there. You got to do that to get that off. You need to hold the shroud tightly. I put a rubber band on it to give me a little extra grip. Pop that off, and then this is what you get from DonnyFL. So you get a nice knurled protective cap. So that's for use if you don't want the moderator on. And then that's what screws in to the end of the FX shroud. And then once that's done, the moderator just screws on like that. And remember that the shroud itself rotates, so you can rotate that shroud so that the Sumo is perfectly aligned and looking good while you're shooting. I think one of the hardest things to do when you take apart like that shroud end cap off is not lose the shroud end cap. So I have a sister who has a label maker. I borrowed that for a couple days. Sorry sis, I haven't gotten it back to you. But I've found that if you save your tins, they work really good for storing all the little parts and doodads that you wind up with when you're engaged in any kind of hobby like this where there's a lot of accessories involved. And I find these work really well. So they stack pretty decently, and you might give that a try. My recommendation on the label maker is borrow your sister's label maker. It's probably the best way to go. If you're shooting one of the high-end airguns, something by FX or Daystate, you're not probably having conversations inside your own head or with anybody else about whether or not you need anything. These guns are all great as shipped. As far as the FX Crown goes, it's plenty quiet, very backyard friendly. I've never had anybody say, man, why are you shooting that gun in your backyard? People don't even know what's going on. Regularly, the pellet hitting a squirrel or certainly a metal knockdown target is way louder than the gun is. But if you're in that market, you're probably also interested in saying, what can this gun be capable of? And if you want to make it quiet, a shroud from DonnyFL can definitely do it. This is the Sumo, and I very much like it. It's not the only DonnyFL moderator I have, but it's what's on the crown right now. It's a high quality piece of engineering. I've put a lot of pellets through it, and I've had absolutely no problems. It hasn't really increased or decreased anything with point of aim, velocity. Certainly haven't noticed any accuracy drop off. I'm really happy to have it, and it's been a good addition to what I've got and what I'm shooting. I've had situations where, and I'll be honest, I've never had this before I put on an external moderator or an additional moderator. I've had situations where I've been able to shoot 2 squirrels out of 1 tree because they just didn't know what was going on. And I never was able to do that before. Certainly had plenty of opportunities to shoot at 2 different squirrels, but this is noticeably quieter, and it's noticeably quieter at the muzzle, and I know that translates to quiet downrange. So when it comes to the question of, do I need one? No, absolutely not. But if you've got that rifle and you want to see what it can do, I would recommend this, no problem. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, thumbs up. If you don't, okay, you can put your thumbs down. You can subscribe or not subscribe. It doesn't really matter to us. We're not doing this for the money. Although, you know, if there was some money, we'd take it. But that's not why we're doing videos. If you want to leave comments, you can. I'll be honest with you, we don't look at comments all that much. Every once in a while it gets pretty ugly, and then you think, why am I making videos? But the question was out there, and I wanted to make sure I answered it. So good luck, safe shooting, and get those backyard critters. They're probably out there digging a hole right now, so make sure you take care of them. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great 2019. I will tell you that if you want to quiet your FX Crown, buy the DonnyFL adapter and get yourself one of his shrouds. They do make a difference. They are a lot quieter, and it's a difference in quiet that you can notice.